Hello, everyone. Well, what do you know? This Saturday is the 4th of July. Every January, when I put up a new calendar, it never fails to amaze me how quickly we get to the staples. You know, in the middle of the calendar, the staples. Guess it's just proof that time flies when you're having fun. I mean, that is what this lockdown and pandemic have been, right? Fun. Woohoo! Yeah. Last year on the 4th of July, I wrote a piece that I ended up posting on Facebook. In that piece, I described why I wasn't feeling particularly patriotic, and as a result, was going to take a pass on any kind of celebrating. I just wasn't feeling it. And yeah, I'll admit, the piece was pretty honest. The response to my post was everything from enthusiastic support to some actually unfriending me. But that's fine. I can respect that. But here we are again, back at the holiday where I'm supposed to be all patriotic and feeling all kinds of warm and fuzzy about my country. And I've had to ask myself this week, so kid, where exactly are you on this subject this year? Over the past decade, I've sensed a growing trend that hate is okay. That anger spewed out in any fashion to whomever you choose, whenever you choose, is okay. When you consider the mindset and forethought that it took to make this nation, it seemed we were having no problem continuing to lower the bar, and that we were okay with that. Now, I think social media has had a lot to do with this because it's much easier to be nasty behind a keyboard and a made-up username. But it was this hatred and anger, the I'm right and you're wrong mentality that is threatening to divide us, that has taken the wind out of my patriotic sails. It's hard to love my country when we're at each other's throats, when self-interest seems more important than the collective good. I wasn't finding any pride in any of that, wondering what had become of the country that I once knew. But this year, and I mean this year, as in 2020, something has changed. In the face of adversity that no one could have imagined, I'm actually finding reasons to be proud again. Typically, June is Pride Month, yet the LGBTQ community stepped aside this year without so much as a complaint because they put everyone's safety above their desire to celebrate, and they knew that another voice needed to be heard. So I was grateful for the recent Supreme Court decision to hear and protect those who had so willingly heard and protected others. That's amazing. We need more of that. Former President Obama was recently asked if he thought the protests were helping, or if it was just another same old, same old. He responded that this time he was hopeful because he saw diversity in the crowds that he had never seen at any other protest. Everyone, black, white, Asian, Latino, Indian, all shoulder to shoulder, coming together in solidarity. I'm not sure where you stand on the Black Lives Matter movement, but I was so inspired by folks coming together to offer support when it was really needed. Conversations are starting to happen. As a result of all this, I've seen many white folks listening and learning. I've seen black people being truthful and transparent about how systematic racism has affected their lives. Look, at least we're talking to each other again, and that's a huge step. Makes me proud. You know what else makes me proud? This. This pandemic has been a nightmare, and wearing masks is not fun. But every time I venture out, I love seeing all of us taking care of each other, all of us trying together to put this virus out of business. We still have a ways to go, but states like New York, New Jersey, and yes, even Illinois have placed the good of the community above their own comfort. Now, I realize that not everyone can wear a mask, and that's okay. But if you did, and clearly most of you did, then you've restored a little bit of my patriotism. You know, this isn't about politics and party lines. I just want us to be a country that works together. We don't have to agree on everything, and it's probably best if we don't. But I at least want the hate, the name-calling, and the finger-pointing to stop. Several months ago, I had a conversation with my sister and my niece. The conversation turned to politics, and my sister and I were lamenting the current climate and how much we hated it. My niece kind of shrugged it off, saying, "Oh well, that's just how politics is." My sister and I both looked at her and said, No, this isn't normal. It never used to be this way. I mean, there were disagreements, but not like this. I'm concerned that we have an entire generation that this is the only thing they know. This is yet another thing that I don't want to go back to normal. Our country could never have achieved the level of greatness it has if we couldn't work together and get along with each other. It was our coming together that made us what we once were, a nation that has a strong and shining example of democracy and freedom. We need to be that nation again. You know, the other day, I went to the bank to cash some checks. I don't know about you, but my exposure to cold, hard cash these days is few and far between. But I needed cash on this day. And as I was sorting through the bills, a phrase caught my eye. You know what it is. What's written right above the Treasury building? Go ahead. Say it out loud. When it comes to our country, sometimes I think God is far away, but He's not. He's in the midst of this pandemic because I've seen Him all over the place, in the gay community, in the desire to help others, and behind every mask. I can't give up on us. I won't give up on us. I need to keep the faith. God, please bless America.